Welcome to Investomania, brother.
It's relatively big news. Nike signs Colin Kaepernick as their new Just Do It campaign spokesperson, turning an exercise slogan into a political statement overnight. Nike's stock dropped 3% on the announcement. Should you buy Nike? And if you're already in Nike, should you sell it? First, let's differentiate the business from the stock for a moment. Will hiring Colin Kaepernick do damage to Nike's business? Because a business and its stock are two different things. I mean, we've already shown it will do some damage to the stock, right? On day one, stock is down 3%. So we've already basically proven, yeah, it at least can do some damage to the stock. Long term, of course, it's a little bit more fundamental. We'll see. But in the short term, it can damage the stock. But let's talk about the business. Can it damage the business? My initial reaction when I first heard about this, when I first thought, I was like, I don't think so. Nike knows their demographic very well, inside and out. And I believe the Nike demographic as a whole, I would imagine, leans moderately in support of Kaepernick. Either that or they are indifferent. Although they will undoubtedly lose some customers due to this. How many, we don't exactly know, but some are inevitably going to leave. It's probably a relatively small percentage, and those in support of Kaepernick may very well become even more loyal Nike customers. And loyalty to a business is hard to achieve in today's society. That was my initial reaction. However, upon further evaluation, I'm not so confident in that view. In investing, one of the most valuable things we can do is to look for a comparison elsewhere. Fortunately, we have a pretty dang good comparison right in front of our face. And that is Colin Kaepernick and the NFL. The NFL, along with the NBA, are two sports that are extremely closely tied to the Nike brand. The NFL and Nike demographic overlap significantly. However, the NFL, how do they react to Kaepernick? Well, how they reacted is likely how Nike will react to Kaepernick. It makes sense. And I think we all know how horribly the NFL business was hurt by Kaepernick. In 2016, that's when Kaepernick first started his kneeling, the NFL viewership decreased by a massive 8%. In 2017, viewership further declined 9.7%. That results in a cumulative 2-year 16.9% drop in viewership. Guys, that is massive. 16.9%. The NFL was supposed to be a place where the blue-collar American could come home, sip on a beer, and watch some dang football. What resulted, however, was a national divide. And the NFL became a place for politics. And that's not what the blue-collar worker wants to think about after working an 8-hour shift. Think of it this way. Imagine you had a friend who wanted to talk about politics every single day. But even worse, he only wanted to talk about one single political issue. Every day, that one political issue. Pick a random one. Abortion, gun rights, capital punishment. Every single day he brings it up. He wants to talk about it. Even worse, he brings it up in public. You're out at a bar, you're with your friends, you're trying to flirt with some girls, and he wants to talk about abortion. Even if you share his political opinion, you're probably going to be like, dude, I'm trying to chat up the ladies. Shut up. I don't want to talk about abortion right now. So, you have 3 reactions from the public in regard to the Kaepernick protests. You have ardent supporters of Kaepernick. Those guys keep watching the NFL. You have those who ardently oppose the protests. They stopped watching. And then you have a good chunk of people who just don't want to hear about politics. They don't want to think about politics. And they stopped watching. Some people would literally walk out of the stadium and demand their money back. Think about this. There are 32 teams in the NFL. 32! That's quite a few. When Kaepernick left the 49ers, not one single team offered him a position. Out of 31 remaining teams, 31 chose to not offer him a job, not even as a backup. Now, let's think about this. Kaepernick wasn't exactly a low-quality quarterback. He was a starter for a couple years, bouncing back and forth between a starter and first runner-up, and you're the first backup. And you're telling me that he couldn't even get one single offer, not one single team decided to offer him a position even as a backup? Oh, and by the way, don't go and think, oh, well, Kaepernick retired. He's trying to do his philanthropy or his political. No. He filed a grievance against the NFL in November of 2017, accusing them of colluding to not hiring him. He wants a job. Nobody wants to hire him. Now, why would they want to do that? Oh, yeah, maybe because his actions resulted in a 16.9% drop in viewership. Kaepernick is bad for business. If Kaepernick could cause that much damage to a business as strong as the NFL, if 31 out of 31 team owners refused to offer Kaepernick a job even as a backup, well, all of a sudden, I'm not so confident he couldn't do damage to Nike. I would like to briefly mention, I am not attempting to convey my personal opinion on Kaepernick or the situation. I'm not talking about politics, ethics, or morals. I'm only talking about money, about business. Who do you want as your spokesperson? Someone that half of the population loves and half the population hates? Or someone like The Rock, aka one of Nike's competitors, Under Armour, who everyone loves The Rock. Have you ever met someone who doesn't like every women, men, old people, young people, everyone loves The Rock. So who do you want as your spokesperson? Someone that half the people hate? And I'm like straight, it's like, I mean, I'm scared that wearing a Nike swoosh is going to be like wearing a MAGA hat. Again, I'm not making a political statement. I'm saying that if you wear a MAGA hat, you're going to have half the people in the country hating you, regardless of right or wrong. But it's divisive as a business. That's an extremely risky way to go about business. Now let's talk about the stock. I'll try and keep this brief. I know this video is already running a bit long. I apologize. Why did Nike's stock drop 3% today? Two reasons. One, some people believe Kaepernick will do damage to Nike's business. And there's probably a heck of a lot more people who think that he will do damage than will improve the business. So you're going to have a good amount of sellers thinking that he might do damage to the business, not that many people coming into the stock specifically for this reason. So that results in sales and a decline in the stock. The second reason is some people don't know if Kaepernick will do damage to Nike's business and thus have sold off their stock. It's that second point I want to put an exclamation mark on. Investors do not like battlegrounds. There are thousands of publicly traded companies in America. You can find another high-quality company to put your money in that is not in the middle of a battleground. And by the way, this is not like some big dividend stock where its yield is going to support it. I think it's around 1%. By the way, it's It's only been one single day since the announcement, and the battle has already begun. The President of the United States, President Trump, has already, in one day, made a political statement on this. He's already gotten involved, stating that the Nike deal sends a, quote, terrible message. I do not like the way this is starting off for Nike. Will Kaepernick hurt the business? Maybe, maybe not. Will he help it? I don't think it will help it that much when you compare him to someone like The Rock, right? You can have someone that everyone loves, a spokesperson who is not divisive. I think that's the optimal situation. Someone like Kaepernick, I don't think there's a net positive from a business standpoint. There are superior options out there. But whether or not he'll actually hurt the business, I don't know. But there is that possibility. Will he hurt the stock? Well, if he does hurt the business, then obviously that will significantly hurt the stock. However, even if it's not like the NFL, and there's not that 16-17% drop in business, and things go okay temporarily, short term, he still can hurt the stock, even if the business is not hurt. Why? Because investors don't like battlegrounds when there are other equally high-quality options available.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.